Guys, welcome back to another anime review episode. Now, in this episode, we're going to be covering part 1 of JoJo's Bizarre Adventure. So let's get into it. So this video and the last one is going to be pretty spread out because, well, there's going to be a lot of time in between the two episodes because I got caught up trying to make a video for you guys at first, and then I had to scrap it. And then with this video, I was trying to work on this video, and had an idea. My friend Eli wanted to join in, and we were on Discord, and we were trying to find a way to record the audio for the video, but didn't work, so I'm just gonna do the video solo. We'll try and figure out sometime how to have a collab, I guess. But yeah, so it's gonna be more time in between. I was waiting on him for a while too, so I could have gotten more done today than I did, but I just got caught up trying to make other videos and working on this video. Just like I was trying to work on this video for like half an hour, and then I had to scrap everything I was doing, which kind of sucks. But I'm here now. I'm going to try and make this video and a battle tendency video. So yeah, let's get into the actual review. So first, if you don't know what JoJo's Bizarre Adventure is, it's an anime where basically it follows a family tree called the Joestars, and part 1 it has to do with the original, well, not the original Joestar, but the first Joestar that they showcase in the show. He has this I guess kind of a stepbrother, kind of, not really though, who turns out to be a terrible dude and becomes a vampire. And then so Jonathan has to learn a power called Hormone to be able to combat vampires. And so but vampires are like undead, so yeah, turns out he didn't actually kill Dio is his name, and it comes back to bite their family in the butt later. So, first off, the characters. Now, like I've said in so many of these videos, characters is what I look for in anime. Like, if it has lovable characters and different unique characters, then you kind of got me sold. And this show definitely has that. So, main character, Jonathan Joestar, and like I said, we're only covering part 1 here. Jonathan Joestar, he's a pretty cool MC. There are better ones out there for JoJo, because every part in the MC changes. But he's a decent MC, I guess. Dio is definitely a cool character. Part 1 Dio is cool. But he does get cooler later on in part 3 when, spoiler, he comes back. But yeah, there's not many other characters in this part except for like Speedwagon, who everybody likes. Like, how can you not like Speedwagon? And Zeppeli. So yeah. But there's also like the 2 night dudes, like, whose names I forgot. It's like Blueford and Tarkus, or whatever his name is. I forget his name. But they're pretty cool. And then there's Straightso, and I forget all the other ones, the Hamon monks or whatever. But yeah, all of the characters are pretty cool. There's some pretty cool fight scenes too. And, what do you call it? Hamon is a pretty cool, like, power mechanic. I don't know the correct word for it. But yeah, it's a cool mechanic that they, implement into it. The only problem, well, not really a problem, but, Hamon is pretty cool, and so it kind of fades out in the series, though. Like, it's really only a thing in the first 2 parts, and it shows up a little bit in part 3. And then they introduce a thing called stands, which, if you like, you know what, I'll just save it for part 3 video. I'll go over it then. But yeah, Hamon, it's kind of like using the Force, or like chakra, kinda like from Naruto. But yeah, so the battle mechanic or whatever is good. One of the biggest things that attracted me to JoJo is all of the different music references. So you got Robert E.O. Speedwagon, REO Speedwagon. We got Master AC/DC, so AC/DC. There's not many music references early on. There's definitely a lot more, like in part 4 and up. Like they sprinkle in a few, but part 4 is where it really starts to go like with the music references. So yeah, there's a lot I do like about part 1. I'm trying to do my best to just stay on track with part 1. But there is a lot I do like about this. It's pretty short, actually. If I remember correctly, it's only like 9 episodes. I think part 1 is only 9 episodes. But a problem that I do have with it is, well, first off, vampires are a thing in this, and I think Dio is like the only vampire in this, really. But there's like ghouls and zombies and stuff, but Dio is like the only vampire, and his powers, in my opinion, they're like super inconsistent. And like, so, alright, vampires, as you all know, can't see their reflection, super strength. If you bite people, if they bite people, they turn into a vampire. That's all a thing, sure, but somehow he has laser eyes like Superman, and frost breath also like Superman. Like he can still like control his limbs even though they got chopped off. He can like regeneration is definitely a vampire thing, but like at some point, spoiler, he gets his head chopped off and he's like able to control his head and stuff, which I think is kind of whack, because that's not a vampire thing. And it's kind of cool that they're bringing in original stuff, but it's just like, I feel like they just implement these unique abilities only when it fits him. So like he'll be in a tough situation, he'll about to be defeated, and it's like, oh, well, guess what? I have laser eyes. And it's like, where did that come from? Like, I don't know. I just think the vampire abilities are just super inconsistent in the show. But what I do like, though, is how Hamon and the vampires, like, kind of interact with each other. So Hamon uses the power of the sun. There's an attack. I think it was Jonathan's attack. It could have been Joseph's. I'm pretty sure it was Jonathan's. It's called Sunlight Yellow Overdrive. So yeah, since it's like uses like sun energy, solar energy, or whatever, they're able to. They're super effective against vampires, and I think actually Hamon was specifically made to counter vampires, if I remember correctly. So it's cool how they both like. It's kind of like a yin and yang type thing. But another thing, the last thing that I'm going to go over in this video that I don't like about part 1, and it kind of is a thing throughout the entire series, but I feel like part 1 and 2 specifically, it's probably the worst, and that is there's so much freaking dialogue. Like, I think it's like, it might be better in the manga because like you're actually like reading it, but like they don't ever they just talk so freaking much that it's so difficult to. Sometimes I find it's difficult to follow along just because there's so much talking and not enough action. But it does have a lot of definitely a lot of cool fight scenes and stuff. That's one thing. I watched part 1 with my dad, actually. Well, I had watched it originally and then rewatched it with my dad. But yeah, one thing he definitely didn't like about it is how much talking there was. in which a lot of people agree with me about that. Especially on the internet, I hear a lot of people saying that's kind of what turned them off of it. It's just like not enough was happening, and there was just so much talking. So beware. But although it does get better come part 3, and part 4 is, I feel like, a lot less dialogue heavy, and part 5 is too. I think it definitely mellows out. But yeah, those are the things I liked and didn't like. Right now, for the final portion of this video, we're gonna go over where I would like, what I would rate it and what I would rank it. So for part 1 of JoJo's Bizarre Adventure, Phantom Blood, I'm gonna give it, honestly, probably a 7.5 out of 10. So it gets a lot better later on in the show. But just part 1 wasn't my favorite part. Not so ever. Like, part 3, I'll get more into it when the part 3 video comes. But part 3 is my favorite part, and then part 5, and then part 2. It's kind of a toss-up between 2 and 4, honestly. But 3 is definitely my favorite part. So I would give part 3 a 10 out of 10. Well, just like spoiler for the other video. But yeah, part 1 is good. Very good, actually. Like, it sets up everything that happens later. And that's kind of why there's not a lot of episodes. Because it's just, there's not a lot of episodes for part 1 just because, like, it's setting up everything, all of the crazy stuff that happens later. So it doesn't need to be super drawn out, because they're gonna bring in the all the crazy stuff later, and that's when you get the longer seasons. Like the you get, like, I think part 1 was like 50 something episodes, I think, like maybe 52 episodes or something. Or I meant part 3. Part 3 is like 50 something episodes, and then part 4 is like 37 or something like that. I can't remember. But yeah, it's definitely a short part. And yeah, so I'd say probably a 7.5 probably. It's not bad at all. It's animated well. There's just a lot of talking, and yeah, it's just not my favorite part. It doesn't have a lot of great characters. Like, it has Jonathan Zeppeli and, well, Dio and Speedwagon, but those are like the only good characters. Straightso's pretty cool too. I'll talk more about him next episode when we talk about part 2. But yeah, 7.5 out of 10. I'm assuming you guys see a lot of JoJo memes on the internet, because JoJo memes are like a big thing. So I'd highly recommend you guys check out JoJo's Bizarre Adventure, just so that you know what's going on. So anyways, guys, please be sure to like and subscribe to the channel. We're going to try and come out with 1 more video tonight, maybe 2. But yeah, I got a late start today anyway with the first video, and then I took so long for this video to come out, so sorry about that. But I'm going to try and get 1 or 2 more out tonight, and then we'll start back up tomorrow. Hopefully we can finish up this first season in the next probably 2 days. It just depends on what I'm doing. But anyways, this has been another anime review. I'm Luke, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace.